Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Virtue's Last Reward. I guess I should have looked at the flowchart if I wanted to spoil what I should have had to choose. Let's go back here. We're gonna break Luna's heart for like 1 second, but then it'll be alright, I guess. Unless she's not gonna appear there when I choose Betray. But at the same time, she did it to herself. Sorry, Luna. I die in the other choice. Luna and I stepped out of the room.
Why?
Because I die in the other choice.
What happened to... It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting.
Because it got me killed, Luna.
I thought...
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I picked Betray instead, because I died. That I had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Like the time traveling part. Perhaps I had been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to betray the betray button against my will. Yeah, sure. You're welcome, Sigma! Right, well, we should go see the results.
We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
Really? Everyone's gonna betray one another. The look in her eye was more painful than any punch I've ever taken. Well, too bad! Otherwise we'd be dead! I turned away and almost ran to the projector. Anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the ambidextrous. Please.
I mean, yeah, just hurry up. So everybody betrayed themselves. We're all... Well, I mean, I had to betray. Because I died! I mean, everyone else, though, is just... You all are assholes. Yeah. Okay, good. No points. Dun, 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 dun.
Points have been assigned or subtracted.
Or nothing at all.
Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
I'm not updated. Dots. What? It was impossible. It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Alice's vote be to betray? Because we've been here before, Sigma. That's not possible! Alice? She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move towards us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seems we were all united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh?
You know you killed me in the other route, right?
Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it?
No, I don't give a shit. You killed me in the other route.
Coward.
Like, piece of shit? Me a coward? You're got some balls saying that to me after you pick Betray. And why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
Yeah, let's though, I don't know, break every bone in her body.
You should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible.
Yeah, well, you killed me in another route, so I don't really care.
I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone to the AB room.
Yes, right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it?
No, you killed me in the other route, you asshole.
You two chose Betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
No, what I did was self-defense. What you did was murder. You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose Betray because you wanted out. You had 6 speed P. If I had picked Ally, like Luna had suggested and I did, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to
So
do.
if I was.
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so he escaped.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose Betray. There was...
Tell me the truth!
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here?
Because you killed me in the other round.
Look at those results.
I know, they're all assholes. I already said that.
2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Yeah, they're assholes. Fine, Dio.
If Dio had chosen ally, Phi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she
Yeah, but
chose
Dio never
ally,
chooses
Dio would
ally.
have killed her.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another.
Of course, they're assholes!
Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
I tried to look at the results again. Before, I'd only been looking at my own, and then I realized that there was only one word all across the roster. Betray! Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a circle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You probably already figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, in that case...
At 2, Phi.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer.
No, you killed me. Fuck you.
In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves.
Literally chose ally before and died for it. Fuck you.
So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here.
Literally killed me. Fuck you.
Come on, Clover.
Hold on! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
Can I be the bad guy? I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with the light to have Alice back. Till I find a knife. Before long, they reached the old door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
Luna, I don't blame you for how I died. I do kind of blame you, actually. But you aren't going to leave too? Are you sure? I chose Betray.
No, but I still believe in you, Sigma.
Well, I mean, I chose Ally first, and then I died. So I chose
I
Betray.
think your hand must have just slipped or something.
No, I traveled back in time because I'm a time-traveling android. And then I chose Betray because I died in the other route. Also, what android dies to poisoning?
Right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corner of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed.
Whoa.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the star round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star key.
Hey, guess what? Bullshit, apparently, because whenever someone gets 9, they're probably just gonna leave. Because they all are assholes. Assholes. All of them.
The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh?
As long as we have the star keys.
Or until someone gets 9 BP or over and is like, I'm leaving!
That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too.
No, it doesn't, Luna.
Sigma?
We only have one example of this, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's always gonna go.
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically.
Right. I'm like, why? You want to see my bracelet? Every time they want to see the bracelet. For some reason, I forget. Yeah, I remember. Let me see. I am Cyan Pear. What about you?
I'm a magenta pear.
I wonder what the others are.
Anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
Well, we've got about a long time. 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So, what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah, physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. I mean, I almost just died and did die in another route. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anybody else. Yeah, unless they're goddamn idiots. Everyone can just leave if they chose ally with the star cards. It might take a little bit of time. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal.
Like getting out of here? Isn't that a common enough goal?
Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Like freedom! Yeah, but we already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seemed pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray. Including me.
Well,
But I didn't save my own ass. An enemy.
yes, a common foe.
You mean like Zero Senior?
Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
Who could also be Zero Senior? I don't know. Probably not. After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Accelerator. Huh, yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted the bombs, then everyone else would work together against them. But how do we figure out who it is?
Do you have any clues?
Out of everyone in the group, probably Dio, because he's an absolute dick, while everyone's just a dick. Actually, you know what? No. Everyone's an absolute dick. We just are pretty sure Dio's the one that stabbed everyone else in the other route. Clues, huh? That's right. I got this purple thing. I pulled it out of my pocket and handed it towards her, or held it towards her. It's a purple thing. I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb when we found it in the lab. I think whoever set us up the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's on it, but though. It's probably something purple, like Grimace. Oh no, it's gonna be Grimace porn, isn't it? That's the worst kind. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
I guess we can't really use it then.
There is a TV in the infirmary with a memory card slot on the side.
Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh.
Yes, I remember.
Was it in the infirmary?
Infirmary.
You're right.
I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with
Good
Leo
thinking,
and
Luna.
Clark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then,
Yes, I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
Luna exploded? Oh. I thought they were saying they explored the infirmary, but no, Luna exploded into the infirmary, kind of like bombs, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Ted. I shoulder checked Alice just for funds, and Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
Shut up! I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, really, change starts at home. I mean, you're right, but screw that. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb in the memory card and how it become the infirmary in the hopes that we could discover the contents of the ladder.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Phrasing. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen. Shut up, brain. Exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be Grimace porn, but also random letters. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
Oh, it's repeating, of course, right.
In other words, the first two rows just repeat.
Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something?
Doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we got is this gibberish. Hey, Alice, you haven't seen anything for a while, said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training.
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
God, I hope I'm, like, in that group. Myrmidons. Sounds like a Pokemon. For some reason, I felt like I've heard that name before. Oh, please let me be a member.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
I'm in!
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb?
It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn. I got a ton of questions for you. Let me start with this one. Where's your shirt? What the heck does this thing say?
I don't know. How am I supposed to decode it?
I don't know.
I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do then. We can come back to the code stuff later. I got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? What do you know about this code? You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time for you to tell us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Okay, Luna, hit him with the Soparil. Why not?
Because you might be one of them.
God, I
You
hope
might
so.
be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy.
Oh, I am your
tell you
enemy.
anything.
That's for sure. No, I am. I don't know about that one. I just want us all to get the hell out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Hit her with the Soparil! Before I could blink, she leapt up and run out of the room. No! Drug her ass! You keep drugging it! Hey, wait, Alice. Drug Clover too! I took off after her. Why? Do I have the Soparil gun?
How long are you going to keep following me?
I don't know, it's kind of on reels. I only get like 2 choices every once in a while. Till you tell me what
Then
you
why
know.
don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well,
Then
yeah.
Why don't you...
I want to hear from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the cruise quarters or the gardens? You got paired up for 2. We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I spent more time with you than anybody else. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you. No, because like every other choice I made ended in a game over or to be continued or me dying.
What are you talking about?
Don't look at me like that. She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. No. Abort. Abort. Where are we going? Gonna go over here or something? No, that's locked. How about over here? No, that's done, actually. Ah, fuck. You'd start up all the way. Fine! We walked down the path where it ended next to the pond. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak. Are you calling that a pond? I mean, I guess. What else would it... I would think like a fountain, but I guess it's not really a fountain.
You don't hate me?
Oh, absolutely I do. What? Why? Because you killed me in a different timeline? Yeah, I know. Dick move. You mean in the AB games?
I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as
God,
soon as
I
we
hope I
found
set that bomb
thing,
up.
all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you
I
mean?
remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
I think so.
It's radical like that.
I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you.
Oh, but you did in one route. That's why we're here now.
God help me. Even if it had, I don't think I would have cared.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm kind of pissed off about the whole situation.
See? I'm horrible.
Yeah, you're right.
You hate me, don't you?
Absolutely.
Just do it.
What? Do what?
Kill me.
Okay.
Get it over with.
Sure. Give me the prompt. What the hell, Alice? I'm not gonna kill... God damn it, Sigma. I don't even hate you.
You're lying. I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
I know. That's why I want sweet, justified vengeance. Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. Look, you say that, Sigma. Alice has literally been murdered in another route, and she's died in, like, most of the routes, actually, that we've been on. Like, Ten and Clover get chained up, and they died from their bracelets. Luna got killed. Quark's missing. I was kind of expecting him to be, like, the murderer, but no. But I would assume he's dead, but he's probably not. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb against her cheek because this is apparently a goddamn rom-com now.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know!
You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
We got Father Zone, Sigma! That's who you were after, right? The people who killed... Oh yeah, your dad's dead.
Yes.
Do they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Oh, I'm telling everyone. Ah, come on.
Keep your mouth shut. I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons.
Sure. My lips are sealed. What crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right, then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly after. When I was 3, we all moved to the USA. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which is why we moved. Both my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to the life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That's basic math. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up to school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by the terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it was then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother, alone in a country where any relatives were transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time the name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. So we're going with fantasy cloning here, not actual cloning. Because just because you clone something doesn't mean it's going to grow into the same exact thing. So we're doing fantasy clone. Yeah, okay. It's not going to have the same traits. It's just pretty much making a new human who might look like the other one, but not going to have like the same experiences, the same skills, yada yada yada. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Oh, do they have white blood? Oh, please let them have white blood. That means I'm not an android. I'm just a clone. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. His parents, they really wanted to fuck with him. We know his name and his gender, but his appearance, not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult leaders, a man named Brother, from Final Fantasy X? 10-2? It's like trying to nail Jello to a wall. You gotta freeze it first. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. And unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, and that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately, dressed in an Egyptian princess outfit. On the way there, my car had broken, had engine trouble, and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when a SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess of who was behind the steering wheel. Clover! That was the first time we met. There was 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I expected. They told me they had been locked inside the very building I had been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in the pursuit of the people who kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. Really? Really? Kinda ain't Santa? I don't know about that. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. So we decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated the particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years ago prior was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll call H for now, had been found and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years ago. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player in the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose, H was a member of Free the Soul, and very committed to their cause. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic fields. Morphogenetic fields. I don't imagine you have ever heard of it. Oh, I have. Pretty sure I'm using some of that shit right now. Might not be actual time traveling. Not really sure yet. So I'll try and give you a quick rundown. You really don't have to, but I guess. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My boss decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. What a choice! Because she had been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with infiltration and investigation of the Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hope that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. What truth? The whole operation was a trap. Oh! Is Clover a clone? Oh, I'm like, why are you dressed like a waitress? Because it's a cover jar. The lab was fake and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in a basement, I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in ugly dark bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned that he died from a ruptured organ and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, the Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they'd be sending me a message. Or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. That usually works in the opposite. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at last been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me that there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers, comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them in his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. This really hurts. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying, right there in the morgue. I mean, that's not that odd. They were the first tears I shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no more forgiveness. You're goddamn right. Not the monsters who put my father through this. They'd destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out what the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he had written the directions to the enemy fortress on his body. I'm surprised they let him have the directions. He sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our operation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any other of my agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. So, you inhaled the gas and passed out and woke up here in the AB room.
Yes. Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah, thanks. Wanna go swimming in the pond? She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs, and based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that person is a Myrmidon.
Yes.
Right? And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but
How can we do
I
that?
told you, we need a key.
Okay, what does that mean though? What kind of key? I got a keychain. I got all these keys. Some of them don't even do anything anymore. Like, I have my old car keys on my keychain still. I don't know why.
Without that, it's pointless.
Because I'm lazy. That's probably why. What's a key?
Key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code.
Yeah, like, you mean like a software key then?
Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait, a long string of numbers? Could that be? Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, goodbye, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.